Hi, I'm Snowball with Voyage Cares, and this is Grief Support. Grief is usually defined by 5 different phases, and those phases are denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and finally acceptance. Those phases are not linear. You do not go through them one by one by one. People often vacillate in between those phases, and sometimes people don't even experience all of the phases. Another phase that is not often talked about is the phase of guilt. Sometimes when we lose a loved one, and depending on the circumstances, we can experience feelings of guilt. One other part about grief that is really important for you to be aware of is that there's something that's called complicated grief. And complicated grief comes as a result of losing someone that we wouldn't normally lose, or losing someone in a way that is traumatic. We expect to lose our mothers, our fathers, our grandmas, and our grandpas. But when we lose children, or when we lose siblings at an early age, or we lose people to terminal illness or accidents or tragedies, those can create what is called complicated grief. And sometimes your grief can be complicated at a level where you need to seek professional help. There are grief support groups, there's grief-centered therapy. There are many tools out there to help you deal with complicated grief. Voyage also offers assistance with dealing with complicated grief. So if you feel like your grief is overly complicated, please feel free to reach out to Voyage Cares. I would like to give you some pointers on things we can do to navigate our grief in a healthy manner. One of the things that I use in grief therapy is something called a support wheel, where I have people identify who they feel comfortable reaching out to talk about their grief. A support wheel is a great way to have a list of people ready and on hand to reach out when you feel like you're experiencing grief and you need some extra support through that grief. Some other things that we can do to navigate our grief in an appropriate manner is things like memory boxes or ways to honor our loved one. We can also do journaling that's specifically to our loved one using specific prompts. We can also attend grief groups, support groups, grief therapy. There's many resources available to help you get through your grief. This is Snowball with Voyage Cares, and I want you to know that I care and Voyage cares. Okay, that's it. I want to get them points in there.